better strap your sillies down in your contour chairs, all of you rocket fans. Here it zooms. The blast-off yarn featuring your favorite television space ranger, Michael Resner's Rocky Jones in One Day, when Rocky Jones was still a boy.
Something fell out of that spaceship. It's coming down. It's going to drop. Right here, Rami. An empty space suit.
It was one of the early models, by our present standards, slow, clumsy, and over-gadgeted. But this was many years ago, and for young Earthbound Rocky, it was a thing of beauty.
Wouldn't hurt if I stepped inside and took it up for a while. After all, a feller who's gonna be a space ranger someday can't start flying too soon.
The mechanism was simple to work for a boy who spent every spare second poring over space travel books. Without hesitating, Rocky gripped the right lever.
I'm flying.
He was never to forget that first sharp pang of joy, the dizzying thrill of effortless climbing toward the high white clouds.
What's this? Property of the United Worlds of the Solar System. If lost, must be returned to Space Ranger headquarters without delay. AWG.
For a long moment, Rocky kept soaring up, his mouth twisting with bitterness. It wasn't fair. He'd found it. It was his. They had no right ordering him to turn it in.
I found this spacesuit. I want to turn it in, I guess.
You're a fine boy, excellent Space Ranger material. Mark my words, someday you'll have command of your own spaceship. All anti-spacecraft guns knocked out, sir. Any orders on the disposition of our last reserve squadron? What can I say? Every time we meet the enemy head-on, they shoot us down from the skies. The enemy commander is making an announcement on the astrophone, sir.
Hear this, Earthman. My space shios await only my command before they strike the final blow at your ground installations. You can't resist us. All your ships have been destroyed. This is your last chance. You have but 3 hours to surrender or die.
Their intelligence is faulty. They know nothing of our last reserve squadron. We'll fight. We'll meet them head-on. We'll die, of course, but death is preferable to slavery on Ophiuchus. Order my space rangers to stand their last review. You. Haven't I seen you somewhere before? Report.
Rocky Jones, sir. Space Ranger. Co-pilot of the XV-2, sir. It's been almost 20 years since you saw me. I was a boy. I'd found a spacesuit.
Of course, now I remember. So you're a space ranger. Now you made it, after all. Give me your hand, boy.
They stood there, clasping hands on the brink of annihilation, and their thoughts wandered back to that day then a boy had stumbled on a jettisoned spacesuit.
Sir, all those old spacesuits, there are thousands of them. The Ranger Academy uses them for training. I have a plan, sir. It might break up the enemy attack.
It was 0 hour less 3 now. Less 2, less 1. Down swoops the black pencils of death.
The Earthmen have mounted a defense line of space infantry. Awaiting your orders, full speed ahead. We'll ram into them. We'll smash them to space dust.
The enemy had eyes only for their visiograph screens as they hurtled down toward the pitiful figures in the sky. Every enemy was smiling cruelly. So intent were the enemy on their tiny victims that they ignored the Rifoscope's warnings of the Earth's last reserve squadron poised behind a thick bank of clouds, till it was too late.
The Earthmen attack.
They who had been primes for unopposed aerial bombarding were cut to ribbons by the brilliantly executed surprise attack. The enemy panicked. Those that survived, limpio painfully homeward through the sky.
It worked. Your plan to inflate all the old spacesuits and send them up empty by remote control proved an excellent diversion. As of now, Rocky Jones, I commission you as Space Commander. Your spaceship will be the first new one that rolls off the assembly line, and it will be called the Orbit.